Hey y'all, I hope you had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I'm back with another hair video, and today I'm going to be showing you how I did this full sew-in with a lace closure. My client colored her own bundles, and the hair is ordered from my site, which is a Mayvenn site. So if you want to order this hair or you like what you see, then go check out www.naturaleedriven.mayvenn.com, and I'll put it on the screen for you. So here you can see I am starting off by just corn rolling her hair. The foundation is going to be the key to having a flat sew-in, as always, but especially with the closure. So I'm just going to part her hair where she is going to wear it. She only wears her hair parted on one side, so that's the reason for this braid pattern. And then I'm just going to braid all the braids on each side going down to her ears, connect them all, and then in the back braid them going back. Right here we're all done. I'm going to take my Naturally Driven COCOMINT moisture butter and lather this all over her braids. It might look like I'm using a lot, but I just want to saturate her hair with it so that she has the optimal amount of moisture under her sew-in. So this is what her braid pattern looks like completed. So here's what the bundles look like. I believe she ordered the body wave, 3 bundles, 3 bundles, 18, 16, 14, and then one 14-inch closure. And she did order all 3 bundles and the closure in the blonde color. So all she had to do was put the blue over top. There was no bleaching of the hair or anything. And here you can see that I've sewn on the net. This is what I use for all my sew-ins. It just helps to make their sew-in lay flatter, last longer, and it takes some of the tension off of your real hair. So here you can see I'm just trying to place the closure, trying to see where we want it to lay, and then you'll see me sewing it. I'm not going to do too much talking while I'm sewing it because it's kind of hard to explain, so just try to look and hopefully you'll get it, and if you have any questions, just leave it down below. Alright, so this first needle I sewed from one end of the closure around to about halfway. So I'm going to take a second needle and do the same thing on the opposite side, but while doing this I want to pull it as tight as I can and just be very careful to line it up with her part. So I'm going to use this needle to sew from the front to about halfway around. And the reason why I use 2 needles is to prevent buckling, because when I first started doing closures, I would use 1 needle from one end of the closure all the way to the other end, and it would always end up buckling or popping up at the top. It would never lay as flat as I wanted to lay. So that's the reason why I use 2 needles. I don't know if you can tell, but I didn't pull the net up high enough to meet her closure. So I'm going to stop sewing, and I sewed an extra piece of net on the top just to fill that space in. So right here you can see that her closure still is back a little bit far. So I'm just going to take it on the corner and just add a couple of stitches and sew it onto that front braid to make it lay flatter, but to also pull it down closer to her front. I don't like my closures to be so far down to where you can't see the hairline at all. I feel like that looks unnatural. So this is just my preference. If you want to do it another way, by all means help yourself. But this is just the way that I prefer to do them. Alright, so once I've sewn that extra piece of net onto the back, I'm going to go ahead and sew down the remainder of the closure. Alright, now it's time to sew the rest of it on. I start off by sewing the first part of her check on an angle, and I always sew the perimeter track under the braid so that it lays flatter, but also if she decides to pull it up, it'll look more natural even though she doesn't have a leave out. And from here on out, it's just regular, you know, how you would normally sew in hair. I don't believe I do anything special that I didn't do on my other sewing video, so I guess if you want a more detailed tutorial on just how to sew in the hair, then you can click on my other video. I will try to remember to link it in my description box. But I did not cut any of the wefts until I got to the very top. So I just used the fold over method and just make sure you sew down the corners so they don't pop up or they don't bulge out of her, you know, her style or whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And the other thing that, the other tip I would give is try to remember to sew the edges, the hair around the edges on both sides on an angle, so that when she goes to style it, curl it or feather it or whatever, it'll feather backwards and lay really nice. You don't want to just lay them straight horizontally across, if that makes sense. I'm going to keep sewing the weft until it meets with her closure, and then I'll go ahead and cut it. I don't want any space between, any gaps between the closure and the last weft. I'm using my Cheese Silk Infusion Serum, just a little bit. That's what I'm going to use to give her hair some shine and to curl it. I started off using my flat iron for the curls, but that wasn't working for me. So I do go in later with my curling wand. My flat iron and my curling wand are both from the Paul Mitchell Neuro series. So alright, now it's time to cut the lace off of the front, and I'm going to do a few adjustments. The one thing that I've learned with lace closures, there is no one way to do them all for every single client's head. You have to just do the basics and then touch it up to just suit the client and make it fit their head or their hairline or what have you. So right here I am going to pluck her part. She didn't pluck it prior to, so that's what I'm doing, just plucking it, trying to make it look a little bit more realistic. And as I'm plucking, I notice that the front is still coming up and you can still see it, so see her braid. So I do stop and grab some more needle and thread and just sew that down to get it how I want it to be. And I did go through and cut it in the front, just to give her a little side bang so she can have a little detail around her face. And I'm going to take the curling wand and curl it, but I'm also going to take the curling wand to flatten the top of the closure. Being that I put it in right after it was washed, it had lumps and bumps in it. So I'm just going to take the curling wand to flatten that out. this is pretty much the final look. I'm just going to do a couple more touch-ups, and that's pretty much it. I love doing this because I love when people get hair or colors that are not traditional. So I really enjoyed this, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope that you learned some things from it. If you want to see more looks like this, or you have any questions, then just leave me some comments down below, and don't forget to like, share, and comment on this video. And until next time, thanks for watching.